Good morning, YouTube. Today is Tuesday, September 19th. We got a Steeler victory under our belts. You can tell one of us at the top of the screen went to the game. The other one did not go to the game. The longest Monday night football game in history. Good morning, boys.
Good morning.
Good morning, host.
So, Tom, what time did the fans finally make it back from Heinz, Acupuncture Stadium?
That was the longest game ever. Me and Natalie always joke that Penn State has the longest games ever because I always make her watch every play. But that, by far, I think that took the cake. That getting home, after one, I'm already mad that it's that late, and then to put it to boot. We're not going to get into it. I won't get into it, but I can't believe that the NFL has 3 night games for the Steelers this year.
Yeah, we're not in college anymore. Those night games aren't really fun.
No, we were talking about it yesterday. I just can't handle it. I can't hang.
Yeah. I mean,
waking up early and going to work is tough.
I was checking out the Post-Gazette this morning, the classifieds, and I did see the Steelers have an ad. They're looking for a quarterback. The one we got, guys, he ain't it. He's too small. We got a college quarterback playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm sorry, that don't work.
The game just seems too fast for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not fast. I watch football. I like to call myself a fan, but I'm definitely not an expert. But I definitely could tell the game's too fast for him.
Yeah, well, I hate the Kenny apologists. It's not Kenny. It's Matt Canada, gone. Kenny Pickett, gone. Just give the ball to George Pickens. He might stab someone on the field, Tom. He might stab someone, but he also might get 10 TDs a game. So
give him the rock. Throw him the rock. He threw one time, gets a 70-yard touchdown.
Well, here's the problem, Tom. On an 8-yard slant, when your quarterback can't hit the wide open receiver, it's a problem.
It is a problem.
It's a problem.
Well, the good thing was we're up 4 points, trying to hold them. Defense, in the 2-minute warning. No, we didn't have a defense chant going. We had a fire Canada chat going in the Acrisure Stadium.
Rightfully so. I don't know how that guy still has his job. He's pathetic.
It's hard to watch.
Dude, they show him on the TV. He looks lost. Looks like I'm looking at that play sheet. I mean, holy cow.
Let's run a jet sweep. I don't know what to do. Let's run a jet sweep.
No. Or let's run a quarterback sneak with the smallest player on the field. Lucky to win that one. Shouldn't have won it. Hope Nick Chubb is okay, though. Seems like he's going to have every ligament in his knee repaired. That sucks. He's a damn good running back. But okay, enough with our Steeler chat. Anthony, you really got into that one. Good job.
I was just listening to the crew, man.
Let's talk about FHA loans and assumable mortgages. We are getting to a market starting to slow down a little bit, though I keep hearing listing agents saying they're not going to accept an FHA loan, FHA offer. I think that's wrong on so many cases. But since that happens to be the world we live in, I need to know why. I get the idea that the FHA appraisal is tougher than the conventional appraisal, though that's not even the case in reality. So, like, if there's a listing agent that is saying I'm not taking an FHA offer, they better give a damn good reason. They better say there's no handrails in this entire house, or the entire house has chipping and scraping paint, and it's just going to be too much work, and I would prefer a different type of loan program. But for the millionth time, if you think a conventional loan is just going to waltz through the appraisal process, you couldn't be more wrong. Most appraisals are the same. I see FHA, conventional, whatever repairs, they're pretty much the same. So, Anth, I'm getting fed up with it. I know we've talked about it a million times, but what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, essentially, how can I put it? I don't know how it's not part of like RESPA or fair housing, but I mean, you're basically excluding a certain, class because of the program they're using. I don't understand how that is okay, but the repairs are mainly chip paint and steps without a railing. So if the issue is you're not going to accept an FHA loan because there's a missing railing on the basement steps and on the 3 steps outside, and there's a little bit of chip paint on the outside, have it, done prior to listing the property. I mean, in all reality, when it comes to money sense, I mean, it's a minuscule amount of money. It might be $100 of money and time to do a railing and chip paint. But to exclude offers because it's a government insured loan, I think is very unfortunate. Because, yeah, like you said, I mean, conventional, they're just called something different. They're not called government repairs required. They're called deferred maintenance. And an appraisal takes they're going to cover their own butts and take big close-up photos of the issue and send them to the lender. When that happens, we don't have a choice. We have to require something to solidify and repair that, so the appraiser can sign off on the appraisal. So, I think it's absurd. I think more options should be available to clients, and it limits their options as a buyer to be able to buy if they're worried about if a seller or listing agent will accept their offer because of the program that is financially best for them.
Yeah, and it's a great program. It's a government-backed mortgage program that is wonderful for buyers. And all of a sudden, we have listing agents like you, Anth. I agree. It's a form of discrimination. Just saying flat out, I'm not going to take a government-backed loan. Like, give me a break. That's right. And you can't even give a reason for it. The best is when there's not even multiple offers.
Right.
How do you not accept it? What?
Right.
Like, Tom, am I losing my mind here?
No, it's crazy. And I actually hear it all the time. I hear it weekly. Like, we'll never take an FHA offer. We're not taking an FHA offer. And their only comeback ever, when you ask them why, is because, we don't want to deal with the repair issues. And
they can't even give a repair that's on the house. Tell me what's wrong with the house. Oh, it's a good house.
Yeah, there's just a lot of little things. There's a lot of little things. I mean, we can go back and look at old appraisals and nitpick and see what's actually going on the conventional compared to FHA. And maybe there is a few more things on the FHA because of the lower priced homes on that, and higher priced than conventional get the percentage up. But if the house is a good house, there's no reason not to take an FHA loan. And that FHA offer might even be more than that conventional offer because the buyer does have more wiggle room with the debt to income ratio.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's silly. I hope listing agents get out of this fantasy world that we've lived in for 3 years, that it's been such a seller's market. You got to do what you want, but to shut down specific mortgage types just doesn't seem right to me.
No.
Next, I hear it's really sweeping across the news is how actually I read an article. There's a brand new mortgage company that started up that is going to focus on assumable mortgages only. They're going to get you that 2 or 3% that no one else can on the interest rate. So let's talk about assumable mortgages because they sound great. For the buyer, it may be great. For that seller, though, if you don't know what you're talking about out there and you're talking about assumable loans, boy, oh boy, you could give that seller wrong information. So an assumable mortgage is not a conventional loan. So for all you listing agents that were only accepting conventional loans, not assumable. This is government loans only. So probably going to have to go back 3 years because you guys haven't accepted FHA loans or government loans for 3 years. But what that means is a buyer can come in and assume that current interest rate on that mortgage and take over that interest rate. It sounds great. Holy cow, I don't need 7%. I can get 3%. Yes, it is possible, but that seller is not fully released from that mortgage in all cases. So if you're a seller, you're going to sell your house to Joe Schmo that you don't know. They're going to assume your mortgage, and you still have a portion of liability on that. How many people would do that? Goose egg.
Right.
You're not going to, hey, take over my mortgage. If you don't pay it, I'm going to be in trouble. Who's going to do that? So if you're a seller and you want to look into that, you need to contact your current mortgage servicer who you make your payments to and figure out if you can be fully released from that mortgage. Because if you're not, you need to look into it because you're going to have liability there. Am I wrong or right there, Anth? Fill me in.
Yeah, you're totally correct. I mean, especially I'm hearing like VA loans, right? So VA loans, obviously, yes, you can assume a VA loan as long as you're eligible. But in that instance, if you're assuming the seller's VA home loan, it's their original eligibility. So if you're assuming that mortgage, can the seller still use their eligibility? No, because a big portion of that is already insured on the property that's being assumed that they originally got that loan on. And I think that's where misconception, like we're hearing, hey, if it's tough out there, talk to your sellers, let them assume the VA home loan, for the new buyers. Well, okay. We'll also explain to them that it's their entitlement that's being used. And if they're trying to buy another house, they may not be able to use their VA entitlement because it's already being used on the place that's being assumable. So I think there's definitely some misinformation out there. I mean, granted, getting 3% sounds great, but I mean, a seller's not going to be able to get that when they move and buy. So,
Right. Now, it can work in certain cases, but you have to to go assume a mortgage and you don't know the ins and outs of the program, you're going to get yourself in trouble there. So if you're talking assumable mortgages, give us a shout. We can go over them with you because frankly, if it's too good to be true, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Just running out there and picking up someone's mortgage and taking that, there's more to it. I mean, come on, guys. Let's use our brains here. Tommy, you got anything to add there?
No, I think, if you're thinking about doing the assumable or talk about it at all, make sure you talk to us and know what you're saying prior to just Googling and rambling it off.
And the only lender that can handle that assumption is the original lender that did the first mortgage. You can't go to one of us if ABC Bank did the mortgage. You must go through that original lender to take care of that assumption. And that's just the biggest part. You need to work with the seller a little bit. Everyone needs to understand if they're going to go through that process, what the positives and what the negatives can be.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing they could do is talk to their servicer. Whoever they're making their payments to on a monthly basis, it would be the ones that are going to allow that to happen. So,
yes. But if you are a seller, if you're in a tough situation, if you need to sell your house, if it can't sell, there are times you might want to look into that as an option, but you need to just be aware of the ramifications to you as a seller on an assumable mortgage. All right, boys, that's all I got. Tom, hope you survive a post Monday night football game. And looking sharp as always. See you boys Friday.
It's going to be a rough Tuesday, boys. It's going to be a rough Tuesday.
Later.
See you, man.